Good afternoon. Great to have you with us here at 4 o'clock on a Monday. I'm Dustin Grove.
Yes, a Monday it is. I'm Felicia Lawrence. You're watching 13 News at 4. Thank you. So we're going to have more on our headlines in just a moment, but we also have some disturbing details because there was a report today that came out from the state. It
came from the state health department claiming there have been more than 10 infant deaths this month related to unsafe sleep. That's 10 deaths over the last 18 days. So coming up this hour, a warning from the health department and what you can do to make sure your baby is safe. But we start here at 4 o'clock with the video capturing a hate group marching downtown over the weekend.
And it caught plenty of attention and reaction, especially online, and some local leaders have weighed in. Ashton Hackman is here. He's going to walk us through the video. And Ashton, you also talked with the person who caught this on camera.
Yeah, but we want to start with making mention we aren't showing you that full video just to avoid amplifying that group's hateful message, but we are showing you some of what was seen so that you know what happened. This small group of people in black clothing and face coverings marched on Monument Circle Saturday afternoon. Capitol Police spotted the group near the Indiana War Memorial. Indiana State Police troopers responded as the group started marching. Indiana State Police responded in a statement to 13 News saying, quote, "Our charge is the public safety and protection of First Amendment rights, but make no mistake that responsibility should not be misconstrued as an endorsement or support of the messaging brought by groups like this," end quote. Nashawn Clay was there and captured this on video.
Just to document it shows happening. I feel like that's just something that is important for people to see in a sense.
Clay said it was surprising to see this in Indianapolis, but one that needed to be called out and to spark discussion. The march is having local police and politicians reacting, and it's not the first anti-Semitic incident we've had in Indiana so far this year. We'll talk about that, break down some of the numbers coming up at 6 o'clock.
All right, we'll see you then, Ashton. Thank you.
And today, the Marion County coroner has identified the 3-year-old boy pulled from a retention pond.
It happened at an apartment complex on the northeast side. Our Jenna Webster spoke to the family today, who says Kamari Williams knew he was loved.
Hug y'all babies. Hug y'all baby, because I don't get to hug mine no more.
It's a tragedy mom Corey Bankhead never thought would happen to her. She says her son Kamari Williams always had a smile on his face. On Sunday night, IMPD says Bankhead came home to find a door open and the 3-year-old missing. A doorbell camera showed him going outside about a half hour earlier. A neighbor later found Kamari in the water before he died at the hospital. A nightmare scenario for any family. Now they're remembering the boy who they call the life of the party.
He had more confidence than me, and I'm grown. Listen, he's the center of attention every time. He loved music, he loved dancing, he loved singing.
He was sweet, full of life. Just my best friend. I miss him dearly.
Kamari's family saying anything can happen in the blink of an eye, telling other parents to watch their babies close.
Oh, that is so hard to see, so heartbreaking. Jenna, do we know how Kamari ended up in the water?
That is something that IMPD is investigating at this point, you know, how he got out of the house, how he got in the water, who was watching him. Answers we just don't really have right now. But I'll tell you, I was there at this apartment complex today. You can see that retention pond. There's no fencing around it, and 3-year-olds are curious, so you got to imagine very easy to just kind of wander in.
And it's so hard to just watch your kid 24/7, even though you want to. It's just tough. Thank you for bringing us that story.
Other news now. Tonight, an Indianapolis family is searching for answers after their 17-year-old loved one was shot and killed over the weekend.
Metro Police are saying it happened at a party in newly built apartments on the near north side. Our Matthew Foltz spoke to the family and mentors who knew the teen best.
That unfortunate deadly shooting happened here at the grounds apartments behind me near 22nd and Central. And right now, police are continuing to work to find out who pulled the trigger. Family and friends of 17-year-old Xavion Whitlow tell me he worked so hard to prevent the way he was killed by gun violence.
Metro Police say the shooting happened early Sunday morning before 3 a.m. When officers arrived on scene, they found Xavion with a gunshot wound, who was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators believe the party may have been put on by someone who rented the apartment off Airbnb. Xavion's grandmother tells me he was a good, smart kid who just loved to play basketball at George Washington High School, a rising senior expected to graduate in June. He was also part of the program Barbershop Talks, which is led by activist Antonio Patton and also held inside the high school. He tells me Xavion was a true leader.
When I was in the room, everybody was having a conversation with him. So therefore, I identified that quickly and realized in order to get the youth to start opening up, why not have X lead the program?
I also sat down with Xavion's grandmother, who is now trying to process through everything. You'll hear more from her coming up at 5 p.m. Reporting in Indy, I'm Matthew Foltz, 13 News.
And Matthew also stopped by the leasing office of where this shooting happened. He asked if they could confirm if the apartment was listed as short-term rental and if they had contacted the owner. Well, the leasing office sent us a response saying they would be sending our questions to the corporate office. On to more news now. State lawmakers are feeling the heat to redraw Indiana's congressional maps to help President Trump get more GOP support in Congress.
This afternoon, Governor Braun acknowledged that pressure coming in part from outside interest groups, conservative commentators. He says he wants to make sure there's consensus among state lawmakers before he calls a special session to do it. Here's the governor just a little bit ago.
I think when it comes to all of this, the climate's hot across the country. And here, whether it goes through or not, we'll see. Yes, there will be political pressure put on, and it will be cranked up probably closer you get to the finish line of when they'd like to get it done.
As we told you last week, Indiana Republicans have all been invited to the White House to talk about the president's agenda later this month.
And multiple outlets are reporting House Republicans are meeting behind closed doors right now to talk about all of this.
Former State Senator Jim Merritt is here to help us understand what they're sorting through. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it. As it relates to this issue specifically, what do you think it is they're trying to hash out as a group?
Well, as a former leader of the Senate, if I was in this situation right now, there's a lot of noise out there. There are a lot of people talking. A lot of members of the House of Representatives putting statements out, getting in arguments over Twitter, and I think what the speaker is trying to do right now is bring everybody into a room and talk about what is true and what is not true, who's going to go to the White House, just get it out on the carpet, if you will, and have everybody bring their opinions together. And as your piece said, ultimately it's the governor's decision to bring the legislature in for a special session. And that takes costs. And you've seen statements by different members of the House of Representatives that they totally disagree with this. And they're in Trump district, Trump red districts. And so I'm sure it's an exercise to let everybody breathe a little bit and talk about what they want to do.
Do you think that this would be something that would advance Republicans in this state if they were falling in line with what's happening in Texas?
Well, I think it's a jagged sword on both sides. I think it's a situation where when I went through 3 redraws, 91, 2001, and 2011, and we always had all the up-to-date data from the census, and that is not present right now. So they don't have the data that's going on. So it's a very difficult situation. There will be lawsuits. The last in 2021, when they redrew the district, there was no lawsuit. It was fair and lots of minds, and so they're opening up Pandora's box. And I personally would not do it, but that's up to them, and they have to respond to their constituents. And I'm sure the Speaker of the House of Representatives wants everybody to get in a room and talk about if they support it or not.
Yeah, so we've only got about 30 seconds left, but there are 110 state House Republicans. 8 or so have come out publicly so far and said, I don't want to do this. Is that, it seems like that's a really small number, but is that significant or not? I'm curious to know what you think.
Keep in mind it's summer. And so people are on vacation, school just got back in, and there's a lot of disinformation going on out there. And so I don't know how they feel. The 110, meaning House and Senate Republicans, I think they need to circle the wagons and figure out what they want to do.
It's just so interesting. On a national stage, I'm like, well, if the Republicans can do that, then it seemed like the Democrats can play that game
Well,
too.
and we've heard those in California saying.
And we might just be where we are in the same place.
All right, to be continued. Jim Merritt, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
All right, Sean?
All right, yeah, let's switch it up here. For a lot of areas today, it was business as usual, meaning blowtorch conditions. But we've had one persistent area of downpours that have moved along the I-65 corridor, goes south of Indy, and this is what's in its wake here. Very persistent, non-severe, but impactful. That's what we call the rain-cooled outflow that's moved through the far east side of Marion County. What's left of this rain is moving through Bargersville, heading toward Franklin, and it's eventually going to run out of gas, just a matter of when. And that thin line that you see, that is rain-cooled air that offers temporary relief. We say temporary, but you can see it. The heat index in Eagle Creek is 77, so is in Frankfort. But up the road in Peru, it's near 100. It's 100 heat index in Fishers, where you haven't had any rain or cloud debris, and it's 104 in Terre Haute here. So this little narrow area of showers is going to continue to weaken, and we actually will see some temperature recovery as the clouds thin out over the course of the next couple of hours. We'll be watching up to the northwest of us over northern Illinois, parts of Wisconsin, where the new batch of thunderstorms are bubbling up on the edge of the hottest air to our west. And those may feed in here after midnight. Anything on radar overnight, early tomorrow morning, will have flash flood rain potential. So don't be surprised if you hear some rumbles of thunder very early tomorrow morning. We do have relief in the 7-day. Stay with us for the timeline.